Hey guys, so my name is Louis Gomez. I'm the Chief Technical Architect at Optimum Healthcare IT. Let me tell you a little bit about Optimum here. So we have 4 different levels of our services. We have EHR services, which is going to include your EMRs, implementations, and support. Digital transformation, so your migration to the cloud and security space. ServiceNow, which is what we're going to be talking about today. And then, of course, staff augmentation, staff placement. So Optimum is ServiceNow's only healthcare dedicated partner. We're an elite partner, one of their preferred partners to do their implementations that's solely dedicated to just healthcare. There's a couple different service lines that we have within their ServiceNow practice. So we typically start with an advisory. This advisory would mean we go into your system and we do an assessment. We do a security assessment, a technology assessment, performance assessment, and then also assessment of your business processes as well. We take a look at ITSM, your change management, knowledge, demand, project, any of the modules that you currently already own. We do an assessment of how well you're using those products and if you're getting value out of those products. And from there, we take one of 2 paths. So we either go the implementation route, where we figure out how to get you back up to speed, make use of what you've purchased through an implementation, or we do a managed service, which means we have a dedicated team of architects, developers, business process consultants, engagement managers that will come in and help manage your instance on a day-to-day basis. So their different solutions fall in these 3 categories. We're IT workflows, our employee workflows, and then also our healthcare-specific workflows. Today, we're going to be going over some healthcare-specific use cases that we've recently implemented. I want to tell you about those now. So the first case study I want to talk to you about is leveraging the mobile device. So your clinicians are using mobile today to document within their electronic medical record system. Whether you're using a Cerner or whether you're using Epic, they're using that mobile device for anything clinician related. So what we've done here is we've empowered the nurses to allow them to do anything non-patient related on their mobile device. This solution that we had built gives a nurse mentorship or at the elbow support to some of your newer nurses. They can use the ServiceNow mobile. We do an integration with Microsoft Teams, and they can get virtual support for any of their clinical needs. In addition to the nurse mentorship, we also do clinical education as well. So integrations into where you house your clinical educations today, all those materials, bring those into ServiceNow so it helps with incident deflection. They can query the knowledge articles before they ask for that nurse mentorship and that virtual at the elbow support. Working with ServiceNow today to expand this, right? So not only include your nurse education, your mentorship, but how do I submit an incident? How do I submit for my clinical device not functioning correctly? How do I just contact anybody within HR? Anything that your nurses need that are non-clinical, that doesn't relate to your Rover app, should be included into one single source, which would be your ServiceNow instance. So ServiceNow, of course, gives you a lot of visibility into the data, a lot of actionable visibility, so I can see exactly what's happening in my instance right now and can make some decisions on where I can take the platform. The next case study I want to talk to you is about your test scripts. So when you're implementing Epic or you're doing your upgrades for your test scripts, what I've seen is these really long spreadsheets that you typically pass around, or what's the latest thing is you do the SharePoint thing, right? And you have to do a lot of pinging back and forth. The ServiceNow test module just isn't conducive enough for your electronic medical record testing and the way you do your Epic testing. So we've built a custom app within the platform to help manage a lot of those test scripts and gives you visibility into what that looks like. Your analysts are able to quickly go, just as they would in the spreadsheet, click things as passed, click things as failed, and then it also includes your defect tracking in here as well. Something's not functioning correctly, log a defect, assign it to the correct person, so it's all in one system. Couple more case studies. So the next one I want to talk about is clinical device management. So you typically would use your ServiceNow instance to manage all of your IT assets, but now we can use ServiceNow to manage your facility and clinical device assets. So think of your IV pumps, your ventilators, your beds, all of that information is going to go here. Highly regulated area, so all of this documentation needs to occur. So for your JCO or any of your audits, you need to have this data available to be able to present, and you can use ServiceNow to document all of those items, such as your planned maintenance. Let's take a ventilator, for example. Those typically have to maintain on a 6-month basis. So ServiceNow will then create you a task or create your technicians a task to be done every 6 months. We can use the core advanced auto assignment to assign it to the correct technician right from the gate. And of course, they can leverage their mobile devices. So they can order parts mobily, they can view manuals, they can edit those tasks, they can complete those tasks, they can even generate new tasks as they're doing their rounding and they find new items. They can do that from the mobile as well. As well to the mobile, we can do it on the workspace. So there's a desktop component as well. 90% of it you can do on the mobile device. The rest of it here you can do on the workspace. I see technicians will typically walk around with their laptops and they can access this workspace where they can track their time, go through their PM procedures, order parts, look at knowledge or manuals, all done from here. This also has the potential to do your AI capabilities as well. So as you load those manuals into the system and there's a corrective work order that it's been submitted by one of your clinical staff, the AI generation can tell you or can tell your technicians what the probable cause might be and give them instructions on how to fix it. The last case study I want to talk about is through Clear. So this was through a university, and they were the target of a lot of attacks, especially after the MGM attack. The way this happened is someone had called the service desk impersonating somebody else. They were able to get that password reset over the phone. And once they had that access, they were able to go in and install their malware. What we're doing with Clear, and think of Clear as that thing that you see at the airport, right? The facial recognition. So if a user is calling into your service desk and they're using ServiceNow, we can validate who they are by using an integration with Clear. Your service desk sends a text message to the person that's calling. They do a verification, it launches Clear, takes their picture of themselves, does some facial recognition, and then it sends that information back to your service desk. So we can compare, this is who they said they are, this is who Clear says who they are, and then we can make a determination whether I want to reset that user's password or not. And this is a full integration into ServiceNow, so the agent is not having to swivel chair and go from one system, such as ServiceNow, to Clear. They can do everything all in one system. The way this looks is right from within the incident ticket. So I can see the data that's coming back from my instance, and I can see the data that's coming back from Clear. And from here is where I can make the decision on whether I reset that user's password or escalate it. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll kind of circle around if you guys had any questions about some of the use cases that I brought up today. All right. Thanks, guys.